So Diana Grant, this is my 10th year here, but I've been teaching for 16 years, and I teach Language Arts 7 and Language Arts 8 this year. So at least here at Pinacati, I hope I can say that, at least here, it's always been like, there's never any follow through. So that was the biggest frustration. I wouldn't, either positive or negative rewards, it wasn't school wide. So for me, it was just something that was out there, but I wouldn't use it. It was just frustrating because I feel like when kids were being annoying, the process would get lost up in the office. There was nothing that I could really do that would cause immediate, I guess, consequences for the kid. Or like same thing with positive things, I've always just brought in my own thing. Here's some gummy bears, thanks for doing what you need to do, pick up trash. It was always like me having to do it by myself versus having something school-wide that worked really well. I do actually, because I teach, again, I was teaching 7th grade, I've always taught 7th, and the kids were genuinely excited to like get a coupon. And again, this was before our names were on them. So I said, okay, you're gonna scan it. I think we scanned it together because it was like all new for us, but they scanned it on their computer and they're like, what do I do with it? And I said, put it right back. And then it was just cool, like the immediate, like, wait, where do I look at the points? It was really clear and the kids were excited and they would log in. I would like, sure, log in, see how many points you have. And it was just kind of like an automatic bank. There was no like, well, the teacher's lying. It was just, bam, there's your ticket. So it was the immediate feedback and the response was really good. So for the most part, again, teaching only 7th graders, they loved it. They were, whenever we had like a free minute, they would check in and they're like, oh, dang, I've got this many points. I'm gonna do this, I can level up. And so there was like genuine excitement from them about like what they could get. And they knew that the store was open. It was like, it wasn't coming from the teachers, it was coming from, so they would like from their point and they would ask like, what can I do to get more points? And again, as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't buying anything personal. Like I don't have to buy gummy bears when there's Acorn. The kids would know like, oh, cool. If I pick up trash, she'll give me like not their own, but they would be cool. Help me clean stuff up and then you get points. Or whenever kids were being nice or would, you know, hold the door open, I'm like, cool, that was really kind of you. They would get points. So I was spending less of my personal money because the system was working and it was built in. Okay, so that I think is the biggest selling point because I feel like PBIS, we've had that forever and I'm not a new teacher, so I can manage my class, but it was always like, there were so many complications that it would just get lost. And I feel like it would go over kids' heads. Whereas Acorn, because we were focusing more on the positive, most of the kids were buying in, if not 100%. I'd say like the biggest, we have good kids, period, but the fact that they were getting incentives for doing what they usually do, it was such a big change on the campus. It was a big culture change from what I've seen for the past 10 years. It was almost immediate. So again, PBIS to me has always been, there's too many tiers and it doesn't really come across, whereas Acorn was streamlined and it made it easier for the kids and the adults. I'm not tech savvy, I'm gonna say that too. I'm not the teacher that's like, oh, I know how to do all this cool stuff. I'm not. I'm an English teacher and I'm old school, but it made it really easy to just be like, cool, you need to use a restroom, bam, go. And then you could see, that was another part, how many kids were out, how often do you go to the restroom, the little Harry Potter type map. That was so cool. Like stuff like that is, you don't really see that, and it was a huge difference. We had like the ones that had my like name on it, and then I would keep them, that's what that became, where it says like Grant, that became my bathroom pass at this point, or my water pass, but the kids would scan it and they'd put it back in there, and then I knew I could like go back and rescan them. It made it super easy for me to do it, and then I could reissue those like right away. Okay, definitely 10, without a doubt, because again, I've been teaching for like close to 20 years, and it is like the most effective system I've ever encountered here. The kids were buying in, the adults were buying in, super easy to use. I'm not, again, I'm not techie. So like when these gimmicks come and go, I'm like, all right, whatever, I don't care. But this actually worked and the kids were, it was just, they were buying in. Yeah, I thought it was nice too, I did. And then just being able to go back in and like, okay, cool, you all get a point for being awesome today. Like, I like both options. But yeah, I think the coupons are even bigger for kids because they still want that tangible, oh cool, and then you can go put it in. Like it was just like, there was a routine built in my class.